I got no makeup, I got real scars, I got hair on my chest. I look good without a shirt, a golden halo. This is Tom Waits. I want you to listen to the Sean Geek Podcast.
Hello.
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 How are you doing?
Good, yourself?
Good.
Yeah?
Did you listen to the mini podcast I put out on, was it Saturday or something?
The mini podcast?
Well, I
No.
did a episode 1.5 on the weekend.
Oh,
where,
no, I didn't.
The importance of the final Avengers movie, which ties into today's episode.
Well, I saw the post where you said that you saw it.
Yep.
Yeah. But no, I didn't hear any podcast. I didn't know you had any on.
There's a special guest doing the intro to that episode.
Oh. Okay.
You got to listen to it. Oh, I can't tell you. You're going to have to listen to it.
All right, I'll have to listen to it.
You can just listen to the first 30 seconds. That's fine.
Oh, okay.
See who the special guest is. I actually, I recorded a few intros to the show with some very talented individuals that are going to lead off some of the episodes as before the theme song goes on.
Right.
Yep.
Cool.
So check it out. Very special guest. I had a hard time getting that person on, but they agreed to do a 30-second intro. So.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Anyway, so I did.
Is it a music intro or just talking intro?
No, it's a talking intro.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah. So I decided to do a I'm going to Avengers EndGame podcast on the weekend. I just did it solo, just the importance of the movie and kind of against the haters and that kind of thing, and
right.
people trying to spoil it, I guess, a little bit. But I did go see it yesterday. I did indeed.
And?
Corey saw it on the weekend as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lots of tears.
Lots of cheers and tears, or?
Cheers and actually tears. Yeah. Actually, I'm not gonna spoil anything because. Well, actually, I guess no, I'm not gonna spoil anything. But there was a couple moments in the theater where people just went, yeah, like something happened. Well, there's a few things that happen where the crowd just goes, oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah, just kind of victory moments and stuff.
Here comes the pain.
Yeah, here comes the pain. Yeah, and lots of crying. Sylvie cried herself into a migraine.
Oh no, really?
Yeah.
Well, you don't know it's a movie, right?
What's that?
You do know it's a movie, right?
Oh yeah, but I mean, there's 10 years of 10 years of investment into these characters, right?
Right.
If you think about it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, but no, it was really good. But I've been all weekend long. I follow. I'll give a shout out to this dude. His name is Nitesh Pandya, and he runs a website called Box Office Guru.
Okay.
And he does analysis on box office. And unlike some other people, he actually analyzes domestic, which is North American numbers, and then he also analyzes global, and he's a really good predictor of what movies are going to gross every weekend. And so anyway, I've been following him all weekend. So props to Gitesh. That guy's like one of my heroes. He's a guy I'd love to meet.
Right.
Cool guy. But anyway, did you see what I sent you?
Well, I saw the link that you showed me.
Yeah.
And it was showing that how much money they made, the millions and maybe in the billions, I guess. And it's probably the biggest. I guess they had one prior to this one. which was, I guess, there was a bunch of them that died or something, wasn't there?
Yeah, you're so out of the loop. It's awesome.
What was the last one called?
Avengers Infinity War.
Yeah.
So that came out last year.
Right. And apparently it grows, fairly big. Not as big as this one, but big.
Well, yeah, in the last film, and the reason there's so much anticipation for this one is in the final film. The final film did amazing. Like on its opening weekend, it opened globally, except for one market, I think. So it opened to 651 million in one weekend.
Wow.
Yeah. Very strong numbers in China. I think the China grosses are equivalent to the North American grosses.
Okay.
Which is crazy.
Pretty close.
But, yeah, pretty close. Yeah. And China's just one country. Like North American numbers are Canada and the U.S. So.
Wow.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah. So I mean, in the last movie, I think everyone was excited to see it. But what happened in that film is made the anticipation for this one even higher. So at the end of that last film, which isn't spoiling anything at this point, is they fought Thanos through the whole movie, and through the whole movie he's collecting six gems, and once he's got all 6 gems, like he puts them into this gauntlet, and he gives them the power to do anything. Literally, he can do anything he can think of, he can do.
Wow.
And his goal is that the universe is overpopulated.
Okay.
And the planet he was from, his planet was suffering because of overpopulation.
Right.
And there wasn't enough food to go around, and not enough resources to go around, and the planet's so greedy. We're just overpopulating. We're just procreating. Wouldn't there be enough resources if we were half the population?
Well,
that's his theory. So his whole goal is to collect these Infinity Stones, put them in the Infinity Gauntlet, so he can have the power to do anything. And his whole goal, once he gets that, is to wipe out half the life in the entire universe. That's his goal.
Right.
And at the end of the last Avengers movie, Infinity War, he succeeds.
What's that?
At the end of the last movie, he actually succeeds.
Oh. So the population was half.
The population of the entire universe. So trillions of people were killed once he got the power of all the Infinity Stones. And all he did, he snapped his finger, and half the universe died. And that's all living. That's not just humans. That's every race, every living creature. So, the birds.
Sorry, I think I hit a button there, and then it said resume call. I don't know if I hit something with my ear.
Oh, yeah, no.
Sorry.
You're still here.
Okay.
So he wiped out half of every living creature in the universe. So that's bugs, birds, bees, animals. I think even on subatomic levels, dust mites, whatever, on every single planet in the entire universe. So snap of a finger, he killed half of everything.
Wow. And he did it.
And he did it. And then when he did that, he retired.
And then he retired.
Yeah.
I'm done.
That's exactly what he did. Hey, I did it.
Oh.
Done.
Did it done. Okay. I'm retiring now.
Yeah, but that was it was a lifelong goal, and he achieved it. He had a big fight on his hands, but he somehow got it done. So this movie here, EndGame, is what happens after.
Oh.
So how do you recover from that? I'm not going to go into the movie because we'll save that for later. But it's the anticipation for this is, oh my god, and they killed off half. So Spider-Man died, half the Guardians of the or actually 3/4 of the Guardians of the Galaxy died. Black Panther died. Who else?
Okay, here's a question without ruining it. So all these characters that died, not one of them was in this movie, correct? Because they were all dead.
That was the idea. Yeah, it was going to be the surviving Avengers have to deal with this, and
right.
and still like he still has the Infinity Gauntlet. So I mean,
right.
what happens if he gets another bright idea?
Yeah, he could just wipe everyone who was left.
Yeah, he may decide. You know what? Earthlings are a problem. We should kill all Earthlings. Or I don't like the moon. Let's destroy it. Like, so they have to, but they can't. I mean, the resources, like the team members, they're down to half
right.
or better. Like there's only like the 5 remaining members. The original Avengers team from the first movie. There's only them left. That's it.
Right.
So anyway, so they this movie is the repercussions of that. So everyone at the end of the last movie is like, holy shit! Like, they actually lost. So now what? So I mean, the anticipation for this is at an all-time high. So what they did is they did pre-sale tickets, a couple of months ago, or maybe even longer, and all those tickets sold out like right away, like across the world, like everything sold out right away.
Wow.
And this also had a long life on Netflix after too. So I mean, those that maybe didn't see it in theaters have all seen it by now. Like, everyone has, most everyone in the world has seen this movie by now. And maybe they didn't catch it in the theaters, but they're going to have to see this one on theaters because they don't want anybody to spoil anything.
So you're saying that the last one is on Netflix?
The last one is currently on Netflix, yeah.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen that one either.
Well, you should. It's actually really good.
Yeah, just like I haven't seen one episode of the Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
That apparently is a big. Apparently, everyone dies. When it comes to that show, the main characters die and they start over. So I guess maybe they just took a page out of the book and said, I'm just going to kill them off.
Yeah, it's pretty realistic of those days. Ancient days. Well, people died all the time. Doesn't matter if you're a hero or not.
Right. Well, just like the superheroes. I mean, the superhero always lives. They always get the girl, and it's always a happy ending.
Yeah, not in this movie.
Yeah, so let's mix it up.
Yeah, let's mix it up.
Yeah.
So, I've been trying. What they did is they added theaters. They sold out. They added theaters. They added showtimes. They added more theaters to the point that when I went to the theater I went to, we went to the VIP.
Right.
The VIP has like four theaters, 4 VIP theaters, and then all the rest of the theaters are the regular run.
Okay.
The entire VIP was EndGame, Avengers EndGame, and then you walked down the hall to get to the VIP, and I didn't see any theaters that were not playing Avengers EndGame.
Yeah, all the theaters, everything. So there was more than one. So, like, within a theater, like, say you went to the one, say, St. Vital Theater, okay, and then they've got 5 or 6 different movies playing. So did they have more?
They've got 10 theaters there total, I think, is what they have. 10 theaters total.
Okay, so how many theaters had the EndGame playing?
I think 8 out of 10, I think.
Wow.
I know at the one I went to, I don't know, they might have had one other theater. They actually canceled Stars and Strollers, which is Cineplex is like they'll play a kids movie where the sound is a little quieter. It's not in the dark. They don't lower the lights to keep the lights up. I think they serve popcorn in the theater like throughout the movie, and it's designed for kids to take their parents, right? Or parents to take their kids.
Right.
So they canceled those this weekend.
Right.
And I think Polo Park, it was 10 out of. They have 14 theaters there, maybe that might be right. I think they had 10 out of 14 playing Avengers EndGame.
Wow.
So this weekend, EndGame accounted for 90% of the box office. Of all the movies out, it accounted for 90% of the box office.
Yeah, wow.
The only other movies playing in theaters, from what I looked at, was Captain Marvel, which is another Marvel film,
Right.
which has been out for like over a month, and it jumped up to number 2 from like number 5 or number 6 or 7 or something. It jumped back to the second spot.
Okay.
And yeah, so I mean, the grosses for all these other movies, a lot of them had their theaters pulled. All right, you're done. Your movie's done. We're not showing your movie anymore.
Yeah, but it just came out last week. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean,
so do they normally do this?
No, I haven't seen it happen since Star Wars Episode 1 came out. And when that came out, as I recall, I believe they were showing at St. Vital. They had showings around the clock, or pretty darn close to it.
Okay.
So they added. So there was I remember when it came out. I think there was like there was Star Wars was starting every hour on the hour. There was a new Star Wars showing every hour. So this was, I think, even greater than that. And because it's a 3-hour movie, you can't. If you have it in one theater, you can only show it every 3.5 hours, 4 hours, because you got to have your previews in there. And this is a 3-hour-long movie, 3 hours and 20 minutes with previews, right?
Yeah, this was supposed to be a long movie, over 3 hours. Yeah.
Sure didn't feel like 3 hours, but
oh, okay.
No, it went quick. Anyway, so they kept adding theaters, and they kept adding so everyone. The theaters were running longer. They were starting earlier. I think they're ending later as well to accommodate. Okay. So the big talk on Friday was like, okay, the last Avengers movie made 614 or whatever, 600 and something globally. Can this movie break it? Because it's a longer movie, and the theater chains have to decide. You know what? I'm going to not show any other movies. I'm going to, they have to shuffle what they're going to do. Like, we're not going to show any other films this weekend. They had to really, it's a hard call to make.
So how long ago did they plan this in advance? Because you said you had to buy tickets a while back.
I think it was a couple of months, maybe longer. And then what they do is they see where it's at. Apparently, the day they allowed tickets to be sold in Canada, the Cineplex site shut down. Too much traffic.
Right.
Just couldn't handle the traffic.
Well, yeah, I don't imagine.
So, so I mean, so it broke $1 billion in the end.
Wow.
It broke $1 billion.
Wow.
So it did did 1.2 billion, or just over 1.2 billion in one weekend.
Well, I didn't think it was that high. I thought it was in the millions, but
no,
I knew it was going to get to the billions, but I didn't know it was that fast.
Domestically, so for the North American market, it made $352 million.
Oh, maybe that's what I saw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's a lot. Like, that's more than the entire run of a movie in North America. Like, no movies. There's a few movies that have broken over 300 mil for their entire take. And a lot of movies don't even break 300 million on a global take. So, very impressive numbers.
Now, did they release to say how much this movie costed them to make?
They've released some stuff. The marketing budget alone was like 200 million. And then who knows how much it cost to make. I don't think they've officially released that, but the marketing's usually half of the production budget. Or somewhere thereabouts.
Right.
So, what? Did this cost $600 million to make? With marketing and everything in? Like,
I don't know. That's a lot of high-end stars to pay.
Oh, yeah. And they have all had price hikes, but I mean, I don't know if Robert Downey's got a back-end deal or not where I'll take $1 million up front and I'll take a percentage of the back end.
Oh, yeah. Well, I guess there's always, different ways of doing it.
Yeah, that's what Jack Nicholson did on the Batman movie originally, because he wasn't interested in doing the Batman movie and playing the Joker until Michael Keaton was selected. And he said, you know what? You get Michael Keaton, I'll do this movie. So he did the movie, and he took a smaller up front And back then, I mean, a salary of $10 million would be a lot of money, or even $5 million would be a lot of money. This was back in 1989. And I think he ended up making $25 million off that movie because he did a back-end deal. I'll take less up front as long as you give me a bigger, bigger back-end. So now more stars are doing that as well. You need to get this movie made. My name is going to generate sales.
Right.
You know, the gamble on me that you're going to pay me a back-end deal, or the actors gambling. You know,
right.
I'll take a back-end deal because I'm sure I can pitch this film and get it sold and, you know, get it in theaters, and my name alone is going to help, you know, this money make movie, or make this money make movie, this movie make money. So, you know, but good on them. It was a $1.2 billion. Like, I'm wondering how high it's going to go now.
Oh, it'll go up and up and up and up.
Like, is it going to be the top-grossing film of all time? That's the big question.
Well, what is the actual one? Is it Star Wars at all, or no?
No, it's Avatar.
Avatar. Okay.
And then Titanic.
That was how much?
I don't know. It's over $2 billion total.
Total?
$2 billion, $2.2 billion or something, or $2.4 billion.
Wow.
But I mean, keep in mind, like, didn't that, like, Titanic got beat by Avatar? But I think there was, like, not 10 years difference, but 6 years difference, and the price to go to a movie now is $25 now versus then, which it was like under $10. So I mean, if you compare those grosses, instead of looking at the dollars it made, but how many people went to go see it? Yeah. I gotta say again, Box Office Guru, they also have a chart on there, top grossing movies adjusted for inflation.
Mm-hmm.
So they actually look at the top grossing movies of all time based on what they would have made in today's dollars. So like The Sound of Music, Wizard of Oz, like things like that are always in the top 10.
Right.
Because you know, like even the Charlie Chaplin films, they were charging 25 cents a movie back then, or 10 cents a movie, or a nickel a movie.
Right.
And they would play for years on end in theaters.
Well, don't forget, back then there was a lot less entertainment to be had than now. Now it's just so saturated. You have so many options.
Yeah.
That just going to a movie theater to see, if Chaplin came out now, we'd be like, It's
yeah,
like,
true.
There's just so much out here. It's like, it's we'll call it a film festival type of show or something.
So I wonder if that domestic adjusted for inflation actually applies. Like, does it make sense to...
Well, if you go by how much, like ticket sales, if you go by sales and not actual dollar value, or you figure, okay, well, each ticket is so much, so just take that out of the billions or millions of dollars that they're calculating this from, and I'm sure you can get kind of a semi-accurate.
Yeah, I think they look at ticket receipts, how many tickets sold. To me, I don't even know why that's how they measure movies. They should measure on tickets sold. Who cares what the price of the ticket is? Because a lot of people will go see a movie half price night, or things like that. Like, I think tickets sold makes more sense. That's something I've never quite understood. Like, when you look, like, for example, in the music industry, a platinum selling album sold 1 million copies, right? It didn't make. They don't look at, well, they made $100 million.
Right.
They would never do that.
How many copies?
Yeah, how many copies sold? Like, that makes way more sense. So I don't know why the movie industry doesn't do that. But I guess
more of a dramatic.
Yeah. But anyway, I am home. But we're gonna watch this. I did put a poll up on Meet the Geeks, which we should look at. I don't know if you voted or not, but I asked, if I thought it was going to break the billion mark or not, and obviously it did. But now I'm going to put another poll up to say, is it going to beat? Is it going to be the top grossing movie of all time? That's the next question.
And how long do you think? Now, if they did it, how long would it take, you think, before you found that out?
Well, if it made, because generally movies crash and burn in the second weekend. So, if it drops 70% in the second weekend,
right,
then it will have made $400 million in the second weekend, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then if it drops half, usually the second weekend is the biggest drop.
Right.
And usually like the third weekend might be more like 50% or 48% drop. And then it just keeps dropping roughly by half-ish weekend to weekend.
Right.
I mean, that's a very average estimate. So, I mean, even if it did that, in the second weekend, it's going to be, and don't forget, there's weekday sales too.
Right.
So, I mean, those are going to be strong. So even in the second weekend, it probably could make another 600 mil, potentially, by the second weekend, including the week sales. And
now, did they do the same? Did they close the whole theater down except for, say, 2 of them? Like 8 out of 10 again? Or is it
I don't
just
know.
the one
That's
day?
the question. What are they going to... No, they did it for the entire weekend, for sure.
Okay.
So I don't know, in the week, maybe they'll start to relinquish... They'll probably start to relinquish some theaters by next weekend, I would think.
Okay.
So they'll have less, but I mean, let's say it makes $500,000 between Monday this week and Sunday this coming weekend. So even if it makes another... So now then they're at 1.7, because they were at 1.2 billion. So then they're at 1.7 billion. And then half of that over the next week. So then it's what, $500,000 or $500 million. So then you're at half of that. Then you get another 250 million the third weekend. So now you're at 2 billion by the third weekend. And then I got to look up that number. I don't know if it's going to be 2.2 billion or 2.4. But I think it can do it. It might. But the question is how quick. That's the big question.
Well, that's true.
I don't know. Pretty exciting. But we'll be watching this over at Sean Geek and over at Meet the Geeks. We'll very curious to see what happens. But I would actually like to do a bookend to this episode. If you can watch the last Avengers movie. Okay. Just watch that one. You don't have to watch anything else. Just watch that one. Okay.
All right.
And if we can chat about that and maybe discuss you as a non-Marvel fan, what you thought of the movie.
Okay.
And if you cried.
Okay. I did see the one you were talking about, 1 and 2.
Oh,
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, you watched it?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I watched them both.
Okay, well we have to talk about that. So let's save that as the next one.
Or whichever one, yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's do Marvel this week. Marvel shit this week.
Okay. Sounds
good. All right. So next episode, let's talk about that, and then see if you can get to watching the last Avengers movie on Netflix.
Okay, sounds good.
Awesome. All right. Well,
all right.
Talk to you later.
Okie dokie.
All right. See ya.
See ya. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.